Is 28 Days Later, The Bone Temple a killer comeback?
Or dead on arrival? Find out next on the cutting room floor. What's up, misfits and metalheads, and welcome to another episode of the cutting room floor. We are from the band Cut Like This. I am Thorn Black.
I'm Rose Blood.
And today we are talking about 28 years later, the third installment in the 28, I guess, days
later.
The franchise.
Yeah.
It just came to Netflix last week Friday, and we couldn't wait to get this one out to you. But first, don't forget, like, subscribe, follow. We have music right here, YouTube, Spotify, Bandcamp, all over the place. Hook our band up. Rose, why don't we dive into this movie and you tell them a little bit about this one?
Well, as you are probably familiar with, one of the most infamous fast zombie movies, 28 Days Later. We've been waiting for this one for a very long time. A lot of people thought it might never even happen. And
I was
that
one
it was
of
just
those.
going to end up being,
I was one of those people.
28 days and 28 weeks, and that's it. This return in the franchise really, it brings back the original director, Danny Boyle. This is a coming of age story set 28 years later after the infection first happened and set in and destroyed the world, basically. And it really is. It's very much about like evolution. You know what I mean? The growing pains and the story of a young man named Spike. He is literally, it's his coming of age story. Post zombie apocalypse. And there's a very interesting contrast of his evolution as, going from being a child to an adult. One of the things that they do in this very isolated community, they are in this very isolated little island where, the reason why they've been able to thrive as a community is that the only way to get into this island is a very thin causeway. And this causeway is basically a little bridge, a natural land bridge that when the high tide comes in, it goes over the water. You can't get in there. Water stops the zombies. The zombies don't like the water.
These zombies don't like water.
They get messed up by it.
Which
you know what I mean? It makes sense.
Bodies get waterlogged.
You're
and
all
they
rotted and
deteriorate
stuff.
And they can't move.
Yeah.
And, it's like it makes total sense that they wouldn't want to get into the water. And I
Yeah,
love the
and
passageway that they show and how they show it. Like it's fantastic.
Yep. And they even tell you, they kind of give a little exposition dump at a certain point where they explain humans can't get through there either. So of course a zombie can't get through there, even if it's a raged out zombie. You just physically can't. It's because the current will just drag you out into the sea. You know what I mean? It's once high tide hits, it's over. Nobody can get over there.
Yep.
So that's really how they've actually managed to kind of form a semblance of community. They're much better off there in their little tight-knit community than people are outside. There's, as the story unfolds, you get to see. So basically part of his coming of age is, the coming of age of any child that grows up in that community. At a certain point, when they think that you're ready and you've been trained enough, you go from your, the island community to what they call the mainland. So you cross this causeway and you go into, basically, it's kind of like the wilderness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a couple of other places, little settlements and stuff like that some people know of, but there's very limited information because really they stick to there, they only leave there to occasionally hunt, etc. You know what I mean?
Can you blame them?
You can't blame them. You can't blame them.
Like, I gotta say, they have one of the best zombie hideouts.
Yeah.
In this apocalypse,
Absolutely,
because it's like a natural defender. It's a natural moat that comes every single day. And as long as you're on the inside of it, what a good spot.
So let me talk about the characters real quick. And a little bit more about the tale. Like I said, this is directed by Danny Boyle. He is a legendary director. He is known for, remember that movie Sunshine? Also has Cillian Murphy. Obviously, it was on the spaceship. And then one of the characters becomes obsessed and he's like staring at the sun all the time. And like the whole ship like kind of flips out. They're like on like a mission. Because the sun on Earth is dying and stuff like that.
Doesn't sound too familiar.
We saw it in the movie theater, but it was a very long, long time ago.
Okay.
It's an older movie. But it was also starring Cillian Murphy. The original 28 Days Later Cillian Murphy is also the star of that one. So obviously he really enjoyed working with him. He also did the movie Trainspotting and also the sequel Trainspotting 2. He even directed the Lust for Life video for Iggy Pop, so he even has some punk rock cred. The writer for this one is Alex Garland. He is known for Ex Machina. He's also known for the Devil May... Yes.
Ooh.
And he's also known for the Devil May Cry reboot games from 2013 to 2015, all the extensions, everything. He wrote that.
Ooh,
yeah.
nice.
And
I
he
love the
also
Devil May Cry
he
games.
also wrote the screenplay for the reboot of Dread. With Carl Urban, who
that's a
is
fun one.
amazing
Yeah,
as
I've
Billy
seen
Butcher
that
in The
one
Boys.
once. Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I just think that they just didn't time it right because I was a big fan of it, as a big fan of all of the Dread comics and stuff like that.
Carl Urban crushes that role.
Oh, yeah, he really does.
The actress they got for Marmar in that movie
Oh, she's
also,
really good.
Yeah,
she's really
great.
good.
That's a
She's
great
so
movie.
freaking
I wish that would have done better
hardcore.
because I
Yeah.
think the second one was done so much better than the first. And
Yep.
honestly, I'm not really hating the first. I like the campiness, but anyway, let's get back to the zombies.
Exactly. So like I said, this is a coming of age story. The main character is a kid named Spike, but it starts off actually with his dad's story. His dad is named Jamie, and you see all of the horrible things that his dad went through. Their little family is kind of in a dire straits, as you would imagine, because it's, again, the zombie apocalypse.
Exactly,
so
right.
it's hard times for everyone. But he has an especially hard time in the beginning, and you get to see like kind of the history of like what his dad went through, and then it goes to his story.
I do think it's kind of cool that they show the dad like as a little kid.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff,
do,
And then
they
it's like,
do.
oh, and now it's him growing up and his son, and it's
Yep.
like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
And
it's very
all of
much
you
about-
have a zombie trauma, of course.
Oh, yeah, you all have some
here's your
serious-
zombie trauma, and here's yours. Don't worry, we have helpings for all.
For real, for real. So Spike is played by Spike is the son of Jamie. Jamie is played by who we see his story in the beginning. He's the dad. He's played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, who plays Dave Lazuski, aka Kick-Ass from the Kick-Ass movies. So he's all grown up in this. He's dad. He's a very it starts off kind of like, like this like kind of action dad kind of vibe and stuff like that, but his story is more nuanced and more complex than that. And you'll see this story, this is definitely the thinking man's zombie movie in my opinion. It is definitely about, and as I think most really good zombie movies are really about what happens between the people. You know what I mean? And
There's
this happens to be about the evolution of the relationships that people have, the coming of age story of this kid,
Yeah.
the coming of age of what is happening to the zombies. The zombies have evolved in different ways, so we get to see new types of zombies.
There's some really good character development and just character work in
Yeah.
here.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of really cool technological stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So Thorne Black, being our resident VFX guy, video editor mind, tell us a little bit about the technological stuff behind the making of this movie.
They filmed this on a smartphone, which I love. I love that they filmed this on a smartphone.
This is all filmed on iPhones, like tons and tons of iPhones.
It was just to prove a point. And granted, it's not just the phone without any attachment, but it's the base. That's what's recording everything. And so they have all these different kinds of crazy attachments. Some
And
of them
crazy rigs,
do
yeah.
make them look kind of like movie cameras, like when you're like, is there an iPhone? But yes, it's an iPhone attachment. And mixed with like some drone work.
Really, really well done
It's
drone
really
work.
good. So one of the things the director was saying was that for some of the scenes that we get in here, we get like these really big open fields, and they use some spot in Europe where everything just is old, like old broken down castles, just fields that are untouched. Nobody's been there, nobody's walked on it, because they wanted to give a sense of like it's been overgrown, and kind of like how snow is. If somebody walks on the snow, you know they walked on the snow, so you only get one chance at a shot, and
Of
there's
the
a shot
uncut, fresh snow.
of
Yeah.
like all this undead like running across this giant field, and the field is so pristine, and they had to have a drone come in because again, like a cameraman would leave footprints. So the drone comes in and you get like this big sweeping like just open area, then all these zombies running in just like crazy, and it's just nice to see. And knowing that they have to do it on one take.
Yeah.
Because again, once you step on snow, it's stepped on,
It's stepped on.
So some of this stuff was just had to be done in a moment on the one take. And there's just a lot of really cool things. You check out some of the behind the scenes. It's really cool. They put a lot of love, a lot of care, a lot of effort into this movie. I think we are getting to a point where it's time to slap a rating on this bad boy.
Sounds good to me. Okay. So, Thorn Black, given all of that information, how many, we rate by chainsaw here, 5 chainsaws being a cinematic masterpiece. 1 chainsaw not even being able to start. How many chainsaws would you give?
I went back and forth with this one a little bit because I wanted something slightly different or more than I got from it, but that's unfair for me to judge by something I want and then what it is.
Yes.
So taking kind of what I want out of it, I'm going to give this one a 4.5 chainsaws.
Okay.
This is just, it's really well done story. Like the characters, they stand out. You care one way or another, whether you're getting what you want or you're not. Either way, you 100% you care. I think that's it.
Okay.
It's just really, really well done characters. And when they do show the zombies, the action scenes are pretty cool, especially seeing them fight with a bow and arrow. And it's cool because they kind of like slow it down for a moment at parts so you don't miss, so to make sure that you saw everything in that action scene, It's just a solid movie. It's well done. It's good characters. I think it'll stand the test of time, and especially for people who are looking for the more character-driven type stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rose, what are you going to give this one?
I'm going to give it the same. We've waited a very long time. There were some small quibbles that I had because I think that I just had a different vision for what kind of story that it was going to be.
Exactly.
But I think that the story that they told was a full circle story, and it makes a lot of sense. And it's a deep story. And this is going to hit you deeper than you think it's going to. You know what I mean? Like, it goes through topics of family, of growing up, all of the things that make a human experience. And it's also kind of showing that perspective of the zombies and how the zombies have evolved, which I didn't expect to be a thing in this story. I really like the different types of zombies that they created this time around. I forgot to mention, guys, this movie is super not safe for work. Do not watch this movie with your family. Do not watch this movie with your kids. They might as well call this thing 28 inches later, okay? Because there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of full frontal nudity, especially of the ding-dongs just flying everywhere. Especially the alpha zombies got a huge, come on, that's why he's the alpha, okay? That's all I can say. This thing is crazy. It is crazy, but it makes a lot of sense because, again, this is 28 years after the apocalypse. These feral zombies, their clothes have all rotted off. It's been 28 years, you know what I'm saying? So they've kind of become like these kind of feral, stronger, it goes into, the movie tells you
they go into it.
What has happened with the evolution of these different zombies and everything. So it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And we should have seen this in zombie movies sooner because I'm sorry, cloth does not last that long.
It doesn't.
It does not last that long. If somebody's been buried for a really long time, they're not going to be, you're not going to rise up from the grave with the same freaking clothes. Those clothes have already rotted away to nothing. They've been eaten by the bugs and grubs, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, amazing prosthetic effects. All the zombies look really cool, really scary and horrible, especially the Slow-Los. I really like those guys. Those guys are really gross and disgusting.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. It's
it's got everything. It's got a compelling story. It's got amazing character acting. It's beautifully cinematic. It's shot really, really well.
It sure is.
It's amazing that this was shot on iPhones. This is crazy. I think it's just a really it's a step up, and it just shows exactly what you can do. So don't be afraid to make your own stuff. Use your phone, do your own DIY videos, make your own horror shorts, make your own music videos. Do it. I want to see it, okay? Send us a link.
So now you have your homework for the weekend. You're welcome. Come and thank us in the comments. If you've seen this, if you're gonna see it, let us know. Come back, holla at your band. I think that's about it for us today. Excuse me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow all over the place. Until next time, we are
Out.